Good morning, everybody. My name is Lee Brower, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. All right, let's go big. Begin in gratitude. So this morning, when I reach for my gratitude rock, I carry one in my pocket all the time. I keep it by my bedside when I go to bed at night. What's the last thing I do is express gratitude. The first thing I do in the morning is express gratitude. It's a bypass. It's a bypass so that I don't start my day with any negativity or anything coming at me. My very first thing every day is gratitude. Okay. But I did something different this morning. I paused and I added a couple of words. I believe. And then went on to say, I believe I will. And I finished the sentence. And there's so much power in self-belief. What followed surprised me. I didn't just feel the gratitude. It felt like momentum. It felt like clarity, like confidence, like courage. And it struck me, hey, this is a switch. This is a belief switch. Now just imagine for a second. Can you imagine living in a world where the greatest satisfaction that people get is from complaining or blaming? Where the fuel isn't faith or purpose, it's outrage, it's offense, it's noise. Does that world exist right now? Sadly, that world already exists, right? But here's the kicker. Started researching that this weekend. And from a physiological and neurological perspective, it's not harmless venting. It's serious stuff when you're spending your time complaining and blaming. It's wiring your brain for stress. And when you do that, chronic complaining, chronic blaming triggers the amygdala. That's your brain's fear center, and it keeps it working overtime. So you become reactive instead of responsive, what we call red R. Do you want to live a red R day where you react to everything? Or do you want to live a green R day where you respond, you keep control? When you make blame a habit, your brain starts to prune away your creativity, literally. I was studying this, and Dr. Rick Hansen, who's a neuroscientist, said the brain is like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones. Meaning, whatever you repeat, your brain will reinforce. So if what you repeat is what's wrong, who's to blame, or why it's not your fault, you're building like a mental prison with very comfortable furniture. Becomes who you are. Now, MRI studies show that the more you complain, the more you blame, the more those neural pathways deepen until your brain defaults to that behavior. It's automatic. And so it shrinks this part of your brain that sets us apart from the animal kingdom, the prefrontal cortex, our center for logic, reason, and problem solving. And it makes you less equipped to find solutions. Why? Because you're so focused on the problem. In contrast, think about gratitude. Gratitude activates the hypothalamus and boosts dopamine and serotonin, which is our natural mood elevators. So when you pair gratitude with belief in yourself, self-belief, something amazing happens. You create, get this, you create intrinsic dopamine. That's different than extrinsic dopamine. See, you don't need social approval. It's not from reward. It's from alignment in yourself. Dr. Andrew Huberman from Stanford says, he calls it the chemistry of pursuit. When dopamine is internally generated through vision and self-directed belief, the effect is longer lasting. In other words, the dopamine and serotonin are going to last longer and more empowering than any external reward. And that's what happened to me this morning. I didn't just acknowledge what I was grateful for. I activated what I believe is possible. See, gratitude opens the heart and belief turns the key. So here's my challenge this week. Before the world gets a say, you start your day your way. Grab the gratitude rock. Say out loud, I'm grateful for this, and name the things you're grateful for to start the day. And I believe I will, and finish that. That's it. Try it. Let your subconscious go to work on what matters most, not what's missing, but what's moving. Not what's broken, but what's possible. Because I'm beginning to understand self-belief is gratitude in motion. If you think this is valuable to anybody else, share it. Share it. I'll see you next week. Have a meaningful week. Have a great week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.